Hey, how you doing today? Thanks for stopping by the Dragonfly Garage. I'm starting a new channel and I want you to join me. We're going to have lots of good things going on. We're going to work on some art, we're going to go on some adventures, and we're going to kick a little glass. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the shop. All right, let's check out this center here. I'm going to use a lot of different elements, including some Brazilian agates, some glass, some fused glass, I should say, and lots of different minerals and some see-through stones, anything that's going to glow and give me a real nice presentation in the center there. I like to grout my center so it's going to force light to come through versus leaving it open. It just leaves it a little washy. So I will show you how I do that when I'm done. I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in, especially to my first video. If you'd be so kind as to hit that like button, also punch that subscribe for me, I would be most appreciative. Now, you'll see this pop in and out of my videos from time to time, and that's just my bag of glue. Some people like to put it on with an applique. Some people squirt it onto a little sheet and then pull off of that, but I like this bag. It just really is, I get maybe 2 or 3 uses out of it. I don't fill it up full, and that just really helps keep my work clean and neat. Now, I do a lot of fusing of glass, and you can see there's an iridized piece there. I like to use those. You have to flip them upside down, otherwise that iridized burns off in the kiln. And we'll kiln up to, I don't know, 1500 degrees. I don't like to get them too liquidy and smooth. And I'm just trying to generally follow this circle here and just make my center fit that. Here I'm working on a 10-inch by 20-inch piece of glass. I've already got the center started, and I've already messed up on the design because I was supposed to run this little section over here. Instead, I ran it over here. So that'll happen from time to time as you're working on art. You just kind of got to go with the flow. I wish I was better at going with the flow. My wife Tracy and I have been creating art for the past, 17 years or so. And we've been selling professionally, I'd say, for the past 14 years, 15 years. And Tracy actually has a graphics design degree, and so I would say that she's definitely the artistic vision of our little desperado crew that we have. Hey, all right! First video, we got a sponsor, Town & Country Realty in White Cloud, Michigan. Are you sick of where you're living? Do you need a new space to roam? Well, come on up to the good life in northern Michigan, and Tracy and the folks at Green Ridge Realty can help you out. Give them a call today. Thank you guys so much for supporting the video, and now back to the art. Ready to start grouting? I am too. I've got my grout right here, and it's just regular Home Depot grout. Anything you can get at the home improvement store, whatever grout is your preference. And I got my bucket of water over here out of camera, and I'm just getting a sponge full of water. And I'll show you the consistency that I like my grout. And just like salt, with water and grout, you can always add, but it's really tough to take out. After editing, Mike jumping in here, I know that some of the shots of the art aren't always in frame, and I ask for your indulgence, and I will get better at filming these videos over time. This piece here has some challenges because we've got nuggets of rocks and so forth. I've already gone through and put a coat of resin on them, and that's going to help me to avoid filling any of the holes, especially like this crystal right here had a lot of divots and so forth. That would have been a real pain in the butt if I tried to do that and grout it without the resin on it. This is kind of my grouting technique. There's really no formal way. I'm not a real formal grouter, if you will, but I just like to make sure that my sponge isn't too wet. So I'm making a grout soup on the piece, if you will. And I just basically, if you remember the Karate Kid, I'm all about Mr. Miyagi, and I wax on and I wax off. I do mostly wax on, to be real honest with you. But so it just basically, where if you were doing a normal tile job with straight lines, that's why you can get away with kind of just going one way. But because I have so many disparate lines and converging angles, it's just best that I found to just kind of give it a roundabout, or a Mr. Miyagi, if you will, the wax on and wax off. I'm just gonna get most of the piece out to the corner. And I'm trying not to get too much grout on my nuggets, but again, that's really unavoidable. So as soon as I get some on there, I just wipe it off because I don't want to forget and have it dry. I hope you guys are having a great day today. It's like 40 degrees out and rainy. And for April, beginning of April in Michigan, that sounds about right. Seems like a heat wave actually. As I'm just kind of looking around the piece, I'm looking for any places I missed, especially around nuggets. Though a backside of nuggets, those tend to get left open, and so you just got to make sure you pay attention to that. So the center, what I like to do is, remember how I said I don't like to be too wet? Well, I'm going to change that up because I really want to get down in these crevices, and I don't want to have to dig out too much grout. So I'm going to have a little bit wetter than normal sponge. And I'm just gonna kind of make that grout soup I talked about in the center there. Right, getting that grout. See, look at, if you keep wiping over the same, it's just gonna keep pulling grout out and just give you a bunch more haze. So I fought what Tracy told me to start. She said, you've gotta dip it every time, pretty much every time you wipe it. I was like, no way. And then I figured out how much longer that took to wipe down the grout when I was done. And so literally using this technique, I will have just minimal wipe down. Right, this is looking good. Okay, here we are back in the shop. Gonna finish this piece up, and it's all grouted and dried. And here's what we're gonna be working with in terms of paint. Just a couple of different colors. I got my green, I got my blue, my yellow, red, and then some interesting color shifting. I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not. But kind of a purpley, kind of a blue. So let's see how this piece turns out. There's a couple things I have to do before I get going. you'll see these holes over here where people are going to hang the art from, and so I got to get the grout out of those. So I just kind of take a wire and kind of noodle it through there, and the wire goes right through. Sometimes it's a little bit harder than you think because that darn grout really wants to be a bugger, and other times it just goes right through, so just depends. Okay, so other things that I need, gonna be some water, my brush, and a little brush to do detail work, especially in the reds and oranges amongst the blues. So this center, what I think I'm gonna do is use a combination of these two really cool color shifting elements. Let's see how that works. A little bit of blue. I love that blue. It's so pretty. A little bit of Windex will get the rest of that paint off. And if some of the paint covers the piece and the grout, what have you, that don't bother me. Yeah, almost like a liquid metal. And here's that purple color changing on. Again, just kind of adds a nice iridescent to the grout. So how I'm going to blend my colors is I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to kind of follow the yellow lines. I'm going to leave some paint on there because when I go back through and use my red, you'll never believe what happens. And now we're getting a nice orange blend. And it's such a small space that I'm not going to worry about trying to get all the colors because there's some purple in there, there's some pink. I just think it looks, and you get some color in there, it just really fills the piece out. Makes it look like a glass painting when you're done versus a PC mosaic. I'm gonna leave that paint on there too, because then at the edges where they meet, the blue and the green, that's gonna help me blend them. Let's move on to that blue that we used in the center, and I won't clean off my brush. I'll just add a little bit of water to help it flow just a little bit better. So you can see I'm just kind of adding it as I go, where I need it. Trying not to overlap those reds and yellows, although you do, unless you're going to be real particular, which I'm not, and I probably should be. Sometimes I'll go back over it a little bit and just add a little extra color. Grout is so finicky. It wants to do what it wants to do. If you've ever made a mosaic, then you know it's never clean when you're done cleaning. I'll be at art shows and I'll be showing a customer a piece of art, and I will just see some spots I missed in the cleaning process, and I'll be like, I hope they don't see that as well. But I think when you're the artist, or you're the person who's making whatever it is, or playing the song, you're gonna hear the mess up or see the little imperfections before someone who doesn't make it will ever notice that. It's hard to remember that little tidbit of information when you're looking at your art or whatever it is you make. Wow, I really like how that looks. That little iridescent shimmer inside of the grout is always so fun. Anytime you can add a little secondary to your pieces like that, that is always a good thing. I swear sometimes you got to leave these things sit after you clean them, and they pop up new unclean areas as they sit and fester, wait to be displayed. All right, that's looking pretty good. All the stones that you see in our art we find on the beaches of northern Michigan. We are rock hounds. We love to go do that. All right. I would say that looks fantastic. So again, this is what it looks like at night when there's no light coming through, and that's why we paint the grout, is because if we didn't, it would look like a PC mosaic, and we really want it to look like a complete painting. And so this is what it looks like with the light coming through. Here's the finished piece with light coming through. As you can see, it's a much different piece when there is light coming through versus during the evening when there's no light coming through. Really just transforms the piece. So you get 12 hours of this view, 12 hours of that night view, and I only charge you for one of the 12 hours. So you get the second 12 for free, which is a great deal for you if you're buying some of our art. Thanks for joining me today in the Dragonfly Garage. I want to thank you so much for making it to the end of my first video. hit that like button and then smash that subscribe. Hey, don't forget to check us out on all the socials.